Welcome back, dear viewers. Headlines are screaming once again. Royal family doesn't want Harry and Meghan back, and Meghan is not wanted in Britain. The British tabloids seem to be in a frenzy, spewing out one dramatic headline after another. They're painting a picture of a royal family scorned and a country that has supposedly turned its back on the Duchess of Sussex. But let's pause for a moment and question this narrative. As we all know, Meghan and Harry have created a life for themselves in America. They've started their own businesses, they're raising their children, and they seem to be thriving. Meghan's priorities are clear: her family and her future, not the outdated royal firm that treated her so badly. Yet, the tabloids would have you believe that Meghan is pining for a return to Britain, that she's desperate to be accepted back into the royal fold. But the reality is, there's been no indication that Meghan has any desire to return to her former life. She seems to be content with her American dream, far away from the palace drama and the ever-prying eyes of the UK press. And let's not forget Harry. He stood by Meghan's side through all of this, making it clear where his loyalties lie. Even if he were to reconnect with his family, Meghan has set her own boundaries. She's made it crystal clear that her home, her children and her success are rooted in America. So, let's flip the script. The headlines shout that Meghan isn't wanted, but perhaps it's more accurate to say that Meghan doesn't want them. She's carved out a life for herself that doesn't rely on royal duties or British tabloids. She's taken control of her own narrative, and that's something that seems to unnerve the traditional media. But here's the funny thing. Since when did Meghan ever say she wanted to return? Meghan has built her life in America, with Harry, their children and their businesses. These are no mere words, but a testament to the resilience and determination of a woman who dared to step out of the shadows cast by an antiquated monarchy and carve her own path. Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, is a woman who has found her niche in the land of dreams and opportunities, the United States of America. Together with her dashing husband, Prince Harry, Meghan has embarked on a journey of self-discovery, building a life that reflects their shared values of love, compassion and service to the community. They've created a beautiful home where their children, Archie and Lilibet, can grow up free from the constraints of royal protocol, where they can be just kids, not royal heirs. Meghan's American dream doesn't just stop at her family. She's a savvy businesswoman with ventures that reflect her passion and drive. She's co-founder of Archewell, a non-profit organisation aimed at building compassionate communities. Then there's her venture into the podcasting world with Archewell Audio and her children's book, The Bench, inspired by Harry and Archie's father-son relationship. Meghan is not just thriving. She's revolutionising her role as a duchess, taking it beyond the palace walls and into the real world. But let's not forget her commitment to philanthropy. Meghan has used her platform to advocate for women's rights, racial equality and mental health. In America, she has found the freedom and the platform to voice her concerns, to fight for the causes she believes in. Her American dream is not just about success and freedom, it's about setting new standards, breaking barriers, and creating a legacy that her children can be proud of. Meghan's priorities are crystal clear: her family, her work, and making a difference. She's not just living the American dream, she's redefining it. In the grand scheme of things, it's evident that Meghan's focus is not on the royal firm that treated her so poorly. Her priorities are clear: her family and her future, not the outdated royal firm that treated her so badly. The tabloids keep trying to spin this "she's not wanted" narrative. In an almost comical display of desperation, they've painted a picture of rejection, of a wayward duchess shunned by the royal establishment. But let me ask you this: does this narrative really reflect the reality of Meghan's life? Let's take a closer look. Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, is a woman of strength, resilience and ambition. She's not one to be swayed by the whims of tabloid editors or the fickle court of public opinion. Instead, she's been focused on building a life for her family and herself, far from the gilded cage of royal life. In America, Meghan has forged her own path, embracing the freedom to pursue her passions and interests. She's launched a successful podcast, penned a children's book, and alongside her husband Harry, established the Archewell Foundation. These are not the actions of a woman pining for acceptance from the royal family or the British public. The tabloids have been busy weaving tales of Meghan being not wanted, but how often do they stop to consider whether Meghan wants them? The Duchess has been clear in her disregard for their unending drama and relentless scrutiny. She's not sitting at home, longing for the day she'll be welcomed back into the royal fold. No, she's out there, making her mark on the world, on her own terms. In fact, it's quite the opposite. Meghan's actions speak louder than any tabloid headline. They tell a story of a woman who has chosen to distance herself from an institution that failed to respect her individuality and independence. She's thriving in her new life, away from the constraints of royal protocol and the incessant media circus. So next time you see a tabloid headline screaming about Meghan being not wanted, remember it's not about her. It's about their inability to control, to dictate, to confine. It's about their fear of a woman who refuses to play by their rules. In reality, Meghan doesn't want them. Even if Harry ever decides to reconnect with his family, Meghan has her own boundaries. Meghan's boundaries are not walls built out of fear or spite, but rather lines drawn in respect for her own well-being and the well-being of her family. She has made it abundantly clear where these boundaries lie. They are not in the grand halls of Buckingham Palace or the manicured lawns of Windsor Castle, but instead they are in the comfort of her own home, in America. Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, has laid down these boundaries with grace and dignity. She has drawn a clear line between her past and her present, her old life and her new one. She has distanced herself from the drama of the palace and the constant scrutiny of the British tabloids. Instead, she has chosen to focus on her family and her career, on her own terms. This is Meghan's America, a place where she can raise her children away from the glaring spotlight of the media, where she can build a successful career as an entrepreneur and philanthropist, and where she can live a life of peace and privacy. This is the life she has chosen, and the life she wants for her family. Meghan's boundaries are not just physical, but emotional as well. She has made it clear that she will not allow the media to dictate her happiness or her self-worth. She has shown that she will not be swayed by public opinion or the expectations of others. She has stood her ground, asserting her independence and her right to live her life as she sees fit. These boundaries are a testament to Meghan's strength and resilience. They are a reflection of her determination to live a life that is true to herself and her values. They are a clear message to the world that she is not just a former royal, but a woman of substance, a woman in control of her own destiny. Her home, her children and her success are in America. Period. Meghan's boundaries are here to stay. And for all the tabloid headlines and royal drama, Meghan continues to rise, unbothered and unstoppable on her own terms. Because Meghan's boundaries are not just lines in the sand, they are statements of self-respect, self-love and self-determination. And that, dear listeners, is a boundary we can all learn from. So, when you see these headlines, remember, they're not exposing Meghan, they're exposing their own fear of her independence and influence. Meghan Sussex has shown the world that she is a woman of substance, who values her freedom and independence over the ornamental prestige of a royal title. She is an influencer in the truest sense of the word, using her platform to advocate for issues that matter to her, and in doing so, she is challenging the status quo. The UK media is not used to such a strong, independent woman who refuses to fit the mould they have created for her. Their fear is palpable. They fear her influence, her power, her independence, but most of all they fear the change she represents. Because the truth is, Meghan already moved on and the UK media just can't handle it. What do you think? Is this just the media trying to drag Meghan's name for clicks again? It's easy to get lost in the whirlwind of headlines, but sometimes it's crucial to pause and reflect. Is this a fair representation of Meghan's situation, or is it just another attempt to generate controversy? Let's not forget that Meghan, like all of us, is forging her own path, setting her own rules and living life on her terms. We need to respect that, just as we would for anyone else. It's not about picking sides, but about embracing humanity and empathy. We'd love to hear your perspective on this. Are you seeing through the media spin, or are you finding it hard to separate fact from fiction? Your insights matter because they contribute to a broader, more balanced discourse. Drop your thoughts below, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates. Together, let's keep the conversation respectful, insightful, and engaging.